So what was the question again? Oh, why is it called the traffic jam? Well, you know, the reason is, it's because I have two really cool cars. Seriously cool cars. And I love drifting, racing, because I am fast and slick, and plus I like to create a bit of traffic jam myself with a whole lot of great music. Bulumnaka, my name is Real, your host and DJ, right here on the Today FM Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 p.m. to 7. Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
FBC News tonight, police officers directed to arrest those found still using restricted areas along the Suva foreshore. 6 permanent secretaries leave civil service while 11 get their contracts extended. And former permanent secretary for Sugar, Manasa Vaningi, laid to rest. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. The police will arrest anyone breaching the Environmental Emergency Declaration regulation in force for the Suva foreshore area. Chief of Operations ACP Rusiate Tundravu says the time for awareness is over and now people need to take responsibility for their health.
Police are baffled as to why people continue to swim and fish along the foreshore.
The directive that is given to our operational men on the ground, immediately arrest people. We cannot wait for them to say that they do not know that declaration is in force or what. This is for their own safety. It is a national interest, and I can confirm that I've issued a directive today for those people that are still out there to be arrested.
A huge amount of raw sewage has spilled into the sea after a main pipe burst at Cunningham in Nasinu last month. Following the incident, people in the Suva-Nosori corridor have been constantly reminded to stay away from creeks and rivers.
Warning has been done enough. All the media outlets have been saying that. We have been out there warning people. I think warning is, there's no time for another given chance of warning. We are out there to arrest people.
Those found in the restricted area will be liable for a $2,000 fine, 12 months imprisonment, or both.
Arresting people is the last resort. But if people do not obey the law for their own benefit, what else we have to do? The only option is to get them in. Let them charge and appear in court.
Tundravu is worried that policemen and women are putting themselves in harm's way every time they have to step into the restricted zone to remove people. The hazard area stretches from Rewa Delta to the FDB foreshore. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
The contracts of 12 permanent secretaries in the civil service have been extended to the end of March following the expiry on the 31st of December. In an official release from the Public Service Commission, 6 PS posts have been vacated while 10 acting PS appointments have been made in the interim. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
On the chopping block are 6 former permanent secretaries who have left the civil service after years at the helm. These include Peter Weiss, who is the PS for Strategic Development, National Planning and Statistics, Taito Wanga, the PS for Employment, Productivity and Industrial Relations, Dr. Eloni Tora, PS for Health, and Amena Iavoli, the Permanent Secretary for Foreign Affairs. Ropate Lingayeri from Agriculture and Felipe Aliferetti from Rural and Maritime Development and National Disaster Management, effectively concluding their contracts last year. Continuing in their PS roles, though, are Parmesh Chand, Philimone Wangambada, Shaheen Ali, Dr. Josefa Korovueta, Francis Keane, Inoke Waningolo, Josefa Sania, Samuela Namosima Alua, Savanada County Sela, and Tavita Mbose Wanga. The late Manasa Vaningi had his contract extended but has since passed away. An acting PS Sugar has yet to be appointed. According to the PSC, 10 acting PS appointments have been made, with additional portfolios for Osea Dawari, who is the PS Immigration, now taking on Employment, Productivity and Industrial Relations. PS Justice Shavada Sharma will now also be acting PS for Information and Communications, and Shaheen Ali will also oversee the public enterprise portfolio in addition to industry, trade and tourism. The Commission is expected to advertise the PS role soon and make substantive appointments in April. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Diplomatic passports are only used by those who hold high positions in government. Immigration Director Nemani Vuniwanga made the comment after former Prime Minister Mahindra Chaudhry and his wife were stopped from travelling to Australia yesterday on diplomatic passports. Watisoni Rakandroka reports.
Chaudhry and his wife Virmati was scheduled to fly out of Nandi yesterday.
Mr. Mahindra Chaudhry had wanted to go out of the country to Sydney, Australia yesterday morning, and whilst going through immigration clearance, it was identified that he was carrying a diplomatic passport with his wife, Ms. Virmati Chaudhry. They were kindly advised that they were not supposed to be traveling on a diplomatic passport, as they are not entitled to diplomatic passport.
Director Immigration Nemani Vuniwanga says Chaudhry was issued a diplomatic passport in 2007 when he was appointed Minister for Finance.
When his term is over, he should have surrendered his diplomatic passport, and he should have applied for the ordinary blue passport, like any normal citizen of Fiji.
Vuniwanga has clarified that there are no travel restrictions for Chaudhry.
At the end of the day, he agreed, after being consulted with the Department of Immigration officials and also the Minister of Foreign Affairs, that he is not entitled to one.
Chaudhry says he informed the Immigration and Foreign Affairs officers of his plan to travel 3 weeks, and he was given the clearance. He says yesterday's experience at the airport was an embarrassing one for him and his wife. Chaudhry adds he will apply for an ordinary passport later, as he needs it for travel. The Department of Immigration says former senior government officials who are still holding on to diplomatic passports and who are no longer entitled to them should return the passports. They can apply for the ordinary blue passports with the Immigration Department. Watisoni Rakandroka, FBC News.
Fiji Airways has shortlisted 4 applicants to be interviewed later this month for the Chief Executive Officer's position. This has been revealed to FBC News by outgoing CEO Stefan Pickler, who is part of the nomination team that will select the new person to lead the airline. Pickler says although he will depart at the end of this month, he will continue to manage Fiji Airways from abroad until a new CEO is appointed. He says they need to find the right person to maintain the new standards that have been set at the company.
Have had some strong candidates now. We are going to have interviews with those candidates in January and hopefully have somebody able in a safe pair of hands to take the baton over and lead Fiji Airways into the future on the right track.
A total of 42 applications were received. This has now been narrowed to 4 candidates. The late Manasa Vaningi was laid to rest in Nandi today following his funeral in Namaka. President Ratuepeli Nailatikau and Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama led the government delegation of ministers and permanent secretaries. He was the permanent secretary for sugar and also served on the board for the Fiji Development Bank, the Sugar Research Institute of Fiji, and was chairman of the Sugarcane Growers Fund. Director of Sugar Viliame Ngudake and the commander of the Fiji Military Forces, Mosese Tikoetonga, paid tribute to Vaningi, who was a statesman and a military officer.
In Lieutenant Vaningi, we all saw the best of a Fijian. He was resilient and tenacious when it came to duty, but humble and modest in his interpersonal relationships. For those of us that knew him, he was a man of principle.
Vaningi passed away last Thursday on New Year's morning at the age of 62. Still to come on FBC News, pending issues at pharmacies cause delay in rollout of free medicine initiative.
Misambula, oyo Mr. Ben. Kelapa! Na magkikira na film mataka mo ni chikira mo rumbu ka man ono kenadiwa Enabula FM.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Health Minister Chone Osumate says there are still issues to be sorted out before the government will roll out the free medicine program. The program was to have been implemented on the 1st of this month. Osumate says some pharmacy owners raised issues with him when he visited the Northern Division recently. Savara Tambor reports.
Health Minister Chone Osumate would not disclose details of the concerns raised by the pharmacy owners. However, he assures that a steering committee is now looking into these concerns.
The pharmacies and everybody in the health sector, they're always interested in looking after people and caring for people. So in discussing with them, we just talked about the need to be able to work together, to be able to pool our efforts together so that we can provide the drugs and the medicines that people have. So I'm thankful that we did meet, and I know that we'll be able to, if there are any issues, that will be resolved as we move towards the implementation of this particular policy.
The ministry is also getting ready to train staff about the program.
The intent of this is to make sure that those medicines are also available for the private pharmacies. So I think the actual details is something that I better leave to the task force, because it's an integrated approach that they have, and they'll be the ones that will be releasing more specific information.
The program, which provides free medicine, only applies to anyone earning less than $20,000 per annum. The steering committee is awaiting the finance minister's approval to release information about the free medicine program. The committee tasked to implement the program is made up of Chief Pharmacist Apollo Sibosanimbola, Dhiraj Shivne, the Minister for Finance Ayaz Sayed Kayum, and the CEO of Biosecurity Fiji, Riaz Khan. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
The outgoing Chinese ambassador to Fiji, Huang Yong, has conveyed his appreciation to Prime Minister Vaningi Bainimarama for the support rendered to him during his tenure in Suva. Huang, who is returning to China after completing his term in office, paid a courtesy call to Bainimarama yesterday. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
Fiji established diplomatic relations with China back in 1975, and it is the first nation in the Pacific to do so. Since 1976, a Chinese diplomatic envoy has been appointed to Fiji. Huang Yong has been posted here for 3 years now. During his tenure, relations between Fiji and China have been further strengthened.
I am happy to witness so many achievements made by our two government and people. So I hope friendship between China and Fiji will go in more smoothly and to touch a new high.
In a courtesy call to the Prime Minister yesterday, Huang relayed the Chinese President's appreciation of the Fijian hospitality when he visited late last year.
Please allow me to report to you our President Mr. Xi Jinping. I feel very happy for his Fijian troop. It's a state visit.
Okay.
Yeah, he highly appreciate got so many achievements during his talks to you with you and President Naradiko.
Bainimarama also relayed the Fijian government's gratitude for all that's been achieved by Huang during his appointment here.
You've done a lot for us. You've strengthened our relationship between Fiji and China. Of course, we have more scholarships, we have more tourists coming in, and the visa exemption, the visit of the President, that was all during your tenure. And I want to thank you for all the hard work you've done in bringing the two countries, forging the relationships together further stronger.
With hopes the relations between the two countries will continue to flourish, Huang says he leaves Fiji knowing he has done a good job. He adds he's already missing the Fijian hospitality and hopes to return someday. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
Students hoping for a tertiary scholarships loan must get their enrollment sorted out first. Tertiary Scholarship and Loan Board Chairman Dixon Sito confirmed they haven't processed any applications yet. Edwin Nunn reports.
The Tertiary Scholarships and Loans Board expects to be flooded with applications for student. Results are expected out.
We have time to sort that out, and the students who are interested in getting loans should go to the universities, get themselves registered for the course, and upon acceptance, we will be looking at processing all the documentation.
Things were somewhat chaotic for the board last year when the scheme was launched, but Chairman Dixon Sito says they are well prepared this time around. Applicants are being encouraged to use the TSLB website for any queries so that there are no confusions or last-minute frustrations.
I think we've learned from last year where, we were thrown in the deep end, but I think we coped very well. Obviously, there will be the odd complaint here and there, but we are there to sort it out. The website will explain a lot of the things. A lot of parents and students come to us without having read the website.
Loans under TSLB cover all major universities and tertiary institutions, but this time students who want to learn trade skills are also catered for.
In the TVET area, the training will be quite extensive and making sort of education accessible to many more students. Now, sure, the universities would have the academic qualifications and degrees and things like that. But I think in this country, in a developing country, you also need the people with trades, plumbers, carpenters, electricians.
$42.5 million has been allocated for the Tertiary Education Loan Scheme in 2015. Students start paying back the loan once they graduate and find a job. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
The judiciary has welcomed another addition to its ranks following the swearing-in of a new judge. Puny Judge Kilivitigi Fernando was ceremoniously sworn in at Government House yesterday before the President, Ratuepeli Nalatikau, and Chief Justice Anthony Gates. Fernando has 23 years' experience in the judicial sector, which includes a term as a magistrate, and he served in the High Court in Sri Lanka for 7 years. Prior to this appointment, Fernando served in the Fiji judiciary as a High Court judge from 2009 to 2012. And it's sports time now. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thanks, Jackie, and good evening. Coming up, FNRL optimistic about the year ahead, and Ben Ryan lays down strict criteria for national service duties. These stories and more after the break.
छू 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 हे हे नमस्ते फीजी, आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची इट्स हॉट।
The Fiji National Rugby League believes they have a good year ahead of them. FNRL Chair Reverend Emmanuel Rubin says they have put 2014 behind them to focus on a brighter future. Talen Daudakadaka has more.
The Fiji National Rugby League is looking to improve its development outreach programs and Vodafone Cup competition this year. These areas were severely affected as FNRL struggled to repay debts from the 2013 World Cup campaign.
We suffered a lot in terms of our expenditure, in terms of our outreach, and in terms of our programs and our development programs, in terms of our visiting to the clubs, in terms of subsidizing some of the clubs, the poorer clubs. And so this year we are starting with a clean sheet of paper.
FNRL receives an annual grant of $650,000 from major sponsors Vodafone. With the majority of the financial burdens behind it, the sport is in a good position to fulfill its objective in terms of development and preparing for upcoming tournaments.
We will be focusing on the local competition, the Vodafone, the top 8, the Vodafone Trophy, the Vodafone Cup, and then we are looking at SPG Games, South Pacific Games, And then with that, we're also looking at the match between PNG. And definitely in May, come May, I will have a very strong Fiji Mbati team that will tackle PNG.
FNRL board members will meet this evening to discuss operational matters for the new season. Chalendo Takatak, FBC Sports.
Former Fiji Sevens rep Viliame Mata will miss the final selection for the Wellington tournament. This as Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan has laid down strict guidelines for player fitness in order to be selected in his final team. Indra Singh has more.
About a year ago, Viliame Mata was gearing up to make his debut for the national side at the Wellington Sevens. However, he will not be there this year.
Viliame Mata, he's one of those boys that I wish he was fitter. He's a big unit and he's got some great skills. I just need to get him to the right level at fitness. He's not there yet. I can't select him till he hits the right level so he can have his best. So sometimes the ball's in the boys' courts. I'm not going to get them. They've got to get a certain standard before they get here, and then we get them to the fitness. And I've spoken to Vili. Get to level 20, and he's almost there in that squad, and he's a fair bit off that.
While Mata is still to hit his straps, Ryan is satisfied with some of the other players who are vying for a place in his team. This includes forward Manuel Langai.
Manu Langai, on the other hand, shed a lot of pounds, working really hard. Can see he's really hungry to get his national spot. So that's great.
Meanwhile, skipper Osea Kolinisau has sort of hit the nail on the head by drawing comparisons to how the series has improved over the years.
It's been getting all strong every year there's been really strong, and when you're in a pool I think it's like fun, like you can have New Zealand in your pool, and that never happened before, having Fiji and New Zealand in the same pool, having South Africa and Fiji in the same pool.
The training squad marches back into camp on Tuesday before Ryan names his reduced team. One thing is certain, that to make the final cut the players will need to fight it out with each other and not give an inch. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Warden's Gold easily won all its pool matches today at the Ului Nakau Sevens competition underway in Nausori. With the likes of Ilai Tinai and Nico Verkauta in the side, the team is on track to defend its title. Isake Katunimbao played a major role for Army as they look to provide tough challenge in the finals tomorrow. Meanwhile, the release of players from the national camp has fired up competition at the two-day meet.
We were very happy that our national coach has released some of his players to be part of the Ului Nakau 7 and to have more game times, which is very, very a boost to our competition. They can see that in the Army team they have Isaac Katunimbao is playing on, and a few other players that we identified that has been in their previous club teams, which is a great advantage to them and also to us.
The tournament continues at Ratu Dakambao Park tomorrow. The Fiji Under-17 football team left today for the Oceania World Cup playoffs in Samoa. Accompanying the team as their goalkeeping coach is Nandi stopper Benamino Matenangara. He is amongst the senior goalkeepers used by the Fiji FA technical department to mentor players. According to coach Kamal Swami, his team is set to tackle the best at the Oceania World Cup playoffs, which start in Samoa next week. The Fiji Under-17 team will face New Zealand in their first match next Monday. The Fiji bowling team seeks good lead players for international competition. The lead is a vital position in a lone bowls team, and national selector Sharab Khan says the Fiji side has been lacking this quality in past years.
After the two selections we just have heard, I have seen we have a problem in the position of lead. We don't have a very good lead for the country at the moment. There are several bowlers from Nandi, one from Nandi, a couple from Suva are vying for that position, and we actually really don't know who's going to take that position.
The national trials for the Pacific Games will be held on January 31st and February 1st. That was your sports for tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
Yatule Beach Resort in Singatoka reopens for business on January 17th under the new management of the Nandi-based company Tour Managers. It also will be renamed Yatule Resort and Spa at Nathandola Beach. Tour Managers leased the property from the Fiji National Provident Fund, which did not say how long the lease will run. In a brief statement, the FNPF says it will reveal other details regarding Yatule Beach Resort on its opening day. Fine weather prevailed across most of the country today. On the temperature chart, Savo recorded the lowest at 26 degrees. All other centres recorded 27 degrees. Fine weather can be expected in the morning in all centres except for Savo, where some showers are to be expected. Further outlook for Sunday: some showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands, elsewhere afternoon or evening showers. And just a quick recap of our major stories today. Police officers directed to arrest those found still using restricted areas along the Suva foreshore. 6 permanent secretaries leave civil service while 11 get their contracts extended, and former permanent secretary for Sugar Manasa Vaningi laid to rest. To our poll question now, we're asking, will your back to school shopping cost less this year? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's all from FBC News for tonight. I'll be back on Monday. Until then, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Ni mo demanda.